Little did I know that when we first met up, he actually mentioned he had just recently gotten the news that Brandon had been selected to be in School of Rock. So when you're doing something like that, what might seem just like an interesting idea on its face, when you see a development like that, to me that's like, all right, there's your story, because it's sort of on its face, that movie, or what is now a musical, is a story about kids being inspired by rock music, and then you have a kid that he himself was like the embodiment of that in real life. And to fast forward slightly, when I ended up interviewing him, it turned out that the movie that inspired him to pick up the guitar was School of Rock. So it was, you don't always get that lucky. Actually, believe it or not, the interview that kind of keeps the piece together in what is his apartment was actually something I shot at the end. So basically, I would just be in touch with Dad as like, hey, I want to give a feel for what his life is like, not just a lot of other coverage has been like, wow, a little kid is good at guitar. The striking thing about the video maybe is just you're seeing something that happens to adults and famous adults. So you're seeing it, the main subject is this little kid that, after you watch the video, you realize is almost just as talented as any of those, you do see, and I guess visually, it wasn't like I had a huge plan, but given the footage that I had, I think visually it was cool to be able to put it together, sort of like you would do in a rock doc or something on MTV. The maddening thing about a documentary is just, you get that or you don't. It's lucky to just. Sometimes it feels weird in the moment to be shooting like more intimate, might not otherwise see, but have it in your back pocket and use it for later. With this video, I tried to give a more honest look at his life. I wanted to be sort of true to what his life is like as I at least experienced it. So even though there are these kind of cute moments with his parents, like you can tell I'm not just painting this rosy picture of a kid. Like he seems a little bit annoyed with them. He doesn't want them like adjusting his clothing or whatever. Like just to give it a balance. Like you don't get access to those moments, or at least I don't get access to those moments, and then try to paint a misleading picture. I guess in both senses. I didn't want to make it misleading as in too positive, but there's no need to, show people situations you're lucky enough to get into, where there's where it doesn't provide any value. If I had a crew, you might not have been able to get, some of those moments. Literally for space reasons or just because it kind of freaks people out. I was riding with them on the way to a gig, and I didn't even really use footage of where he was headed. But that was the third or fourth time I had hung out with them, and that was when they started. They basically didn't really notice I was there.
To perform, now I am. So it's just dream by dream by dream by dream by dream. Are coming true.
I don't want to be overly depressing, and there's really no reason to, but it's not an easy field, and without getting too much into politics, it's, as you've probably noticed, journalism has become, I would say, more valuable, more important, especially right now. Truth and accuracy are more frequent, but don't let that deter you if you really love it. And at the same time, if you don't really love it, there's plenty of other things you can do with this same set of skills. So don't think, I think there's kind of nothing wrong with realizing that and, just doing what you can. Storytelling is definitely a worthwhile thing, and all the skills we get by being journalists are so broadly applicable that, I encourage anybody on that path to keep going. Just, be aware that it sort of only gets more challenging, but that also makes the rewards higher. questions